Everybody, welcome to Kenneth. Welcome to today's webinar. This is Kenneth Todd, and this is all about why we get the results that we do in life and how we can change that. So this one's going to be a little bit of a different format. I'm going to speak really quickly about this, um, just to give you an outline. I'm going to flick through. I've got a lot of slides here, and there's going to be certain ones that I'm just going to focus on, and other ones that I'm not. Okay, so there's no going to be no selling on this, or no claim or pitch or sign up for this or sign up for that. Probably upload this to YouTube and give you guys some links on following me on social and my website, etc. Okay, but check in the comments below if you're on YouTube, if you're watching the recording of this, and yeah, and let me know your thoughts. Okay, so I want to ask you, this is a big question in life, right? Why do we get the results that we do? Why haven't you reached your goals and dreams? Those goals and dreams that you had as a child, when you were in high school or middle school or junior school, whatever country you come from, or in college, etc. And maybe in a place right now where you're not in the job that you dream of, or you're looking at life and you think, is this it? Is this what I went to college for and studied for? And I'm married and got my kids, but I feel unfulfilled. I feel unhappy. I feel stuck. How do I get to the next level? How do I break out of this corporate world that I'm in? Or how do I, get better, more fulfilling relationships, or get out of debt, or whatever the thing is? Why haven't you reached those goals and dreams for yourself? Is it just bad luck? So I want you to think about that for a second while I'm going through this. Was it because that you didn't have the education, or your parents weren't rich, or you grew up on the wrong side of town, or it's because that you're too busy that you don't have time to get around to this, or you're too sick that you can't get up to do the things you want to do, or you're too broke so you can't do this, you can't do that? Was it your parents' fault, the way that they spoke to you and they played the trumpet and you wanted to be a sportsman and blah, whatever the thing is, or maybe it's your partner doesn't support you, or like I said, you don't have the education, you don't have the qualifications. What is it? What is it that's been holding you back, or is holding you back right now? What is keeping you in this place that's stuck? Okay, and why is it that some people seem to have this Midas touch, the magic touch, where everything they do just seems to work out well? Most of us have those friends, right? Is they buy a house just at the right time and the value of that property goes crazy. You go do the same thing, it doesn't work out. They go for a job interview, they don't have as many skills, they get the job, and boom, boom, that person resigns. That person resigns before you know they've got a whole bunch of promotions, they're earning extra money, or they win this or they win that, and they attract the right partner. Everything seems to be going just right for them. But there's other people, maybe you included, that have really good intentions. You're a good person, you try well, try to do things as best as you can, try well, try to do things well, and but you seem to be stuck. And it's not from a lack of effort, it's not from a lack of bad intentions, it's not from a lack of trying and working hard, but you just seem to be fighting life and you struggle. So is it luck? Is it education that's keeping you stuck? Is it because those people, they don't come from money? Is it because those people seem to work harder than you that they got this sort of thing? Or is it because they're smarter than you? Is it because they're better than you? Is it because they're more worthy than you? Or is there some grumpy God that's looking down on you and holding you back? What is it? Okay, what if I told you it was none of those? Right? Now, seriously, man, what if I said to you, hey guys, it's got nothing to do with your education. It's got nothing to do with how smart you are, etc. Right? And you probably think, Kenneth, don't say that to me because that's going to be annoying. And it can be annoying when somebody says that to you for the first time. But I challenge you right now to go look into the background of, the top 50 wealthiest people in the world and see where they came from. See how they got to where they were, and even successful people, not even the wealthy that are still alive. Go look back at the greats, people that invented certain things or became titans in industry or thought leaders and hugely successful. Look at their backgrounds, and you will find that there's a whole mix of people. Some people went to college, some people came from rich families, some people left school in middle school. They didn't have any education. They came from absolute poverty. There's women, there's men, all sorts of backgrounds from all over the world, all races, all religion, etc. There's examples of success no matter what. So The important thing for you is to change that story that you have, right? Where did that story that you have come from that you keep telling yourself, the only reason why I'm stuck is because of that. It's because of my boss, or because of my situation, or because of the climate that I live in, or whatever. And what is the story that I'm referring to? Well, we all have a story. We all have a story, and most of us have many of them. We have a story for everything. Here's some examples of those stories. I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I don't have enough money, I don't have the skills, I don't have the knowledge, I'm too stupid, I'm too freckles, my hair's too red, too short, too curly, too fine, my situation is different, you don't understand my problem. Nobody ever believes me. I always attract that type of lover into my life. Trust my luck. Whenever I just go ahead to do something knocks me down. I can never catch a break. I live in the wrong area. No one ever listens to me, and on and on and on. You see, the results that we are experiencing now in our lives are the result of our past beliefs, our past thoughts, and our past actions. That is what is truth. And apologies here while people in the background are destroying the office. But in any case, if you can hear that noise. So that is what is our truth is, right? Our beliefs. Our beliefs govern our life experience. So why do we tell ourselves these stories, and where do they actually come from? Okay, so let's take a look quickly at these stories, which are known as beliefs. These stories are belief systems, and these are our habitual way of thinking. And the funny thing about these things is they're on a subconscious level. Most of the time, we're not even aware of them. We're not even aware of we thinking of these. These are habitual thought patterns, and belief systems reside in the part of our non-conscious brain, which is it's automated, right? So if you think of it like this, when you learned how to walk, you probably won't remember that, but if you monitor a child, it's very difficult to learn how to walk. You've got to think about every single step and balancing, etc. The same thing when you learn how to drive a stick shift car. There's a lot of thought that goes into that, and it can be overwhelming and sort of stressful. But the more you practice, the more habitual it becomes. Then it becomes an automated process. It's just automatic. You don't have to think about driving a car anymore. You can change lanes, listen to the music that's playing, have a conversation with the person next to you, sing a song, take a sip of your coffee, change gears, drive from New York to Boston, 3.5 hours, no problem. You won't remember 90% of the journey. Right? You're certainly not going to remember the gears that you changed and all your turning signals, etc. It becomes habitual. That's the part of our subconscious mind where we don't have to think. We don't have to think about breathing. If somebody comes to attack us or says something to us, we have an automatic response. It's an automated response. It happens before us even thinking. That's the way the brain operates. Our brain is there to be efficient as possible. So we don't have to think, okay, take another step now. Now use this muscle and lift your thigh up and go up on your toes and raise that foot, etc. It happens automatically. It's there to serve us well and protect us. Our brain serves two functions. One is to keep us alive and to keep us safe and to be as efficient as possible. Those are not the only two functions, but just for now, that's all you really need to know, right? To keep us alive and to work efficiently. So a belief is basically a collection of ideas we have about something. These beliefs that we have govern our life experience. This is the most important thing. You can write that down. Our beliefs govern our life experience. Okay, so for example, what's something that's a really strong belief? Well, right now in the US, where I reside, is politics. Right? So you don't all of a sudden decide one day, you're a child, and then the sight of Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton triggers you. It doesn't just happen automatically. What happens is you form a belief. So how does that work? Well, a belief starts with a thought. A collection of thoughts then form an idea. A collection of ideas form a belief system. The more those belief systems or thoughts and ideas are accumulated, the stronger the belief system. So over time, as you learn certain things about Democrats or Republicans or about Trump or Hillary, the more thoughts that you have, it forms a collection of ideas about that person. I'm not saying anybody's wrong or right here, okay? I'll let you guys argue amongst yourselves. But here's the thing. The more that you have those ideas, the more that you form belief systems around that. The more that your belief systems around that, the way that your brain operates is on a subconscious level. You're not even aware of it. You think there is no bias. Now, I want you to study the science behind this. Go and research the study. There's no such thing as no bias. And that's why I laugh when I see these news people saying, no, I'm unbiased. No matter what channel you turn on, folks, there's bias. It's a natural human tendency. Your brain, subconscious part of your brain is going to override. Your brain, subconscious brain, is like a radio, all right? It turns into the frequency, whatever the frequency that it's tuned in, it's going to pick up that messaging, and it's going to reinforce. It's going to look for things in life that reinforce its belief systems. That's why we can listen to a statement from one politician, Hillary or Trump, and two different people with two different belief systems can interpret that speech to say have two different pieces of meaning. Why? It reinforces their belief systems. And don't think that you're immune to this. Nobody is. Absolutely nobody. It's not about being right or wrong. This is the way beliefs work. And our reason why I highlight this is because it's a common theme so that everybody can relate to. All right, and these beliefs are our templates. These are essentially our templates in life. And we have these templates for everything, absolutely everything. And this is how we perceive and interpret life, by using these templates. So this is what maybe that our brain would look like. Each one of these post-it notes will be sitting in our subconscious mind as a template. The type of food we should eat, what relationship should look like as a parent, as a brother, as a wife, as a husband, the way we should talk to people, the way we should dress, the way we should eat, what time's a good time to go to bed, what our house should look like, the type of car we should drive, the area we should live in, what gives us prestige, what means power, the type of job we have, how we should treat people, how people should treat us, how we should talk to each other, how politicians should behave in terms of religion, God, blah, 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 on and on and on and on. This is what our beliefs are. Now, we're out there observing the world. As we go through our day-to-day world, we're interacting with people. People say things to us. We observe certain things. And guess what? This is what's happening. Using our eyes, we don't see the world with our eyes. Okay, we see the world with our brain. We look at what's happening out there. We listen to the words, we watch things, and our brain interprets that. It interprets it on a subconscious level in a split second, thousandths of a second. Our non-conscious brain kicks in. Now, if life that we're observing matches our template, everything is well. All is well in life. If it doesn't match, we have conflict. So our brain, our subconscious mind, controls our central nervous system, brings on feelings of fight or flight, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, reaction, anger, jealousy, joy, whatever. Okay? So this is how it works. So us guys as humans, we're motivated by two things, pain or pleasure. That is our motivation. We're either going to be motivated to move closer to pleasure or avoid pain. So think about that for a second. We have these beliefs in our mind. So think about your mind for a second. And there's a whole lot of post-its. And you have a belief system about everything. Okay? Now, we're also motivated by pain and pleasure. And the thing is, our non-conscious part of our mind associates with certain things. Okay, so you've given meaning to things that bring you pain. You've given meaning to things that bring you pleasure. So, for example, you might have been in a relationship where that person is unloving, they're abusive, whatever. So you associate relationships with conflict. You associate relationships with pain and males being unloving and males being chauvinistic, whatever. That becomes a belief system to you, and it becomes your truth, especially if it happens to you multiple times. So what are you going to do? Is that you're going to be motivated, even though you want to find somebody that's loving and kind and generous and whatever, is you're going to be motivated to avoid the pain. Whatever's stronger, the pain or the pleasure is going to be the greater pull. Okay? So this is what happens. You now go out there, I'm looking for love, I'm looking for a new relationship, I'm looking for a new lover. But your association, your belief system is that males treat you bad, relationships end up in pain, are going to stop you dead in your tracks. Why? Because you want to avoid the pain. Remember what your function of your brain is, to keep you alive for survival. Okay? Now, the way that our brain works, it's still in this old way of thinking that we're going to be chased by lions. We as humans have evolved, but our brains haven't, right? They're still a little bit slower. They haven't evolved. So we have the same response as if we were still hunters and gatherers and being chased by lions and mammoths and whatever, if we even lived with them, I don't know. But now the threat is people speaking badly to us, relationships falling down, not having enough money, etc., etc. So you've got to understand what's going to measure, sort of drive you based on your belief systems. So that's why you procrastinate when you're sitting on the sofa and you should be studying, or you should be doing work, or the pain of doing that and going through that is far greater than the pleasure. Okay, so I'll speak to you about how you can sort of change that in the future. So I just want to drop that in now. This goes a lot deeper, but I'm just going to go through that quickly. In order to understand this, these belief systems, we need to really understand our mind. Okay, and I've used a stick figure here of was created by a doctor by the name of Dr. Thurman Fleet in the early 1900s, and he came up with a stick figure of us humans, just as a basic image so that you can hold it in your mind, because we think in images. Us humans think in images. So if you can remember this basic image, it'll make you or help you understand how your mind actually works and why you have the beliefs that you have. Right now, in our mind is that our mind is split up into two parts, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, and then we have our body. So if you just imagined your mind being your head, your mind is not just in your head, but if you just imagine that it is, and just draw an imaginary line underneath your nose, from underneath your nose to the top, that's your conscious mind. From the line below your nose, below, is your subconscious mind, okay? So your mind's split into two. Now, your conscious mind, just quickly, is your thinking mind. It's your intellectual mind. It's your free will. This is the part of your mind that goes out there and it says, oh, what shall I do today? I think I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this work. Or where should I go on holiday? It's planning. It's thinking. It's doing that stuff, right? Creative. It's a creative force, okay? But the thing is, with the conscious mind, it has the ability to accept or reject thoughts, right? Thoughts come into your mind. A thought comes into your mind, you can say yes or no. I'll accept that, or no, I won't. Okay, you have the ability to accept or reject. It's a slow reacting sort of part of your mind, right? The subconscious mind is this quick thing, right? This is what beats our heart, controls our balance, allows all these things to happen. It reacts very quickly. It's our instinct, keeps us alive, keeps us safe. Okay, so that's your subconscious mind. Now let's have a look at your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind controls your body. This is the thing. It beats your heart, like I said. It keeps you balanced. You can walk without thinking about it. All the stuff, digest your food, all the stuff fights toxins, etc. It happens automatically. It's also known as your emotional mind. It's your feeling mind. It controls your emotions. So when somebody says something to you, what is it that in a split second you react in a certain way? That's all comes from your subconscious mind, your subconscious programming. It drives that. And you think, why did I get so angry? Why did I get so frustrated? Why did I get so overwhelmed so quickly? This is a very fast acting mind. It works quicker than your conscious mind. Okay, it's there to save you. It's there to keep you alive. Remember, your brain is there for survival and efficiency. That's why it kicks in so quickly, to be efficient and help you survive. The thing about a subconscious mind, it's your habitual mind. It's your automatic mind. It works automatically without your direct input. Okay, the thing about the subconscious mind, though, it only has the ability to accept thoughts. It can only accept thoughts. It cannot reject thoughts. So if you're putting thoughts into your thoughts from your conscious mind feed your subconscious mind. So I'll give you two examples. Okay. Two common examples, and some of you guys who are on here that have heard this before. By the way, let me know in the chat box if this makes sense to you so far. And if you're following along, I appreciate that. So say, for example, somebody walks past you and says, hey, you're a loser. Your conscious mind kicks in and says, who's that crazy guy? Yeah, I'm not a loser, I'm fine. And carry on going. Ability to accept or reject a thought. That person's put a thought in your head, you reject it. Or you could accept it. You say, what did you say? You called me a loser? You know what? And there you've accepted the thought, right? For the subconscious mind, it cannot. It cannot. It doesn't know the difference. Look at that bottom piece there. It cannot determine the difference between what is real and imagined. Very important. I'll give you two common examples. Sexual arousal and fear. Let's look at both. Okay, and I just use these are extreme, but they're common, right? I can basically sit in a chair and start fantasizing and become sexually aroused. What's happening? It's imagined. But guess what's happened? My body has reacted as if it's real. The same thing with fear. I can be sitting here in my lounge at night. Maybe I've just watched a scary movie. I'm home by myself, and I hear a noise down the passage or down the hallway. Sorry, passage. Coming from South Africa, I use that terminology. Down the hallway, I hear this noise. What happens? The hairs on my arms and the back stand up instantaneously like that. Okay, my adrenaline starts pumping. I feel tingling in my stomach. What's happening? I'm imagining something bad is happening. What could that be? Is that somebody that's broken into my house, right? Guess what? It's an imagined thought. It's not real. What I don't know is that it's my cat that's just bumped something off in the room. Okay, that's made a noise. So it is an imaginary thought. It's not a real event. I'm thinking I'm in danger. But what happened? My subconscious mind's kicked in. My body is reacting as if it is real. Why? Because the subconscious mind cannot reject what you're putting into it. Whatever you're putting into it over and over. So guess what's happening? Every time you ever thought, I'm such a loser. Oh my gosh, I'm so fat. Oh my gosh, I'm so fat. Oh my gosh, I'm so fat. Every time you look in the mirror, oh, I'm getting so old. Oh, I'm so ugly. Oh, I'm not worthy. Guess what's happening? You're putting that into your subconscious mind, and I'll show you how this all works, right? Remember, your subconscious mind controls your body. Remember that, okay? Your subconscious mind controls your body, okay? I gave you two examples. And that's why, for example, placebo, a sugar pill is so powerful. You can basically, did you know that antidepressants are essentially as effective as a placebo, as a sugar pill, right? Pretty crazy, right? You know, when they go test drugs and release them on the market, they test them against placebos. So a sugar pill, a placebo is just effective as a antidepressant. And so just the thought that you're actually getting something that's going to help you with your depression actually improves your depression, right? And there's recently a study, and I was reading in a science journal of guys, I think it was in Denmark or something, where they had, I can't remember, it was like 12 or 14 patients, older guys, that were going in for knee surgery. That's pretty common for older men, starting to have problems with their knees, and 50% of the people actually had the real procedure and the others didn't. Okay, so what they did is they went through the whole general anesthetic or local anesthetic, however they did that keyhole surgery and stuff, and they actually made just the incision into the skin with these people and left it. So I'd say there were 14 people, 7 actually had the real surgeries, 7 people were told they were having the surgery, but the surgery was never actually performed, but they just made it look like it was. So they made the incision and that was it. Did you know that after a period of a year, the people that didn't actually have the surgery but were told that they had the surgery, their healing was actually more effective than the people that actually had the surgery? It was as if they had the surgery, but the reason why the healing was much more effective is because apart from the incision in the skin, they hadn't gone in there and basically, rummaged everything up and broken and through all the cartilage and done all the stuff right and caused the tissue damage that happens through surgery. So their healing was quicker. But the mere fact that they thought that they were actually getting knee surgery made them believe that they were actually healing and everything was good. All right, pretty damn crazy, right? So that's a placebo effect. So I want to show you how our environment around us affects us. Okay, remember, our conscious mind can accept or reject thoughts. What we choose, what we accept, goes into our subconscious mind. So the conversations around us through other people, our parents, our friends, the people we spend time around, plus we got TV and news, radio, internet, social media, all this stuff, it goes into our conscious mind. So we can accept or reject that. If we're accepting those thoughts, it's feeding into our subconscious mind. Remember, our subconscious mind controls our body. But here's the thing. Let's look at us as an infant using the same image. Now you'll see this image, this infant's lost the top of their head. Why? It's because as an infant, you don't have a conscious mind. All right. You're not going to see a newborn baby lying in its crib thinking, what am I going to do today? I'm probably going to have a couple of poops. I'll have a suck on the nipple, have a couple of feeds, and then I'll go to sleep and wake up and start crying. No, it's just like goo goo gaga, right? But its subconscious mind's developed. Its heart's beating, its digestive system's working, its skin's growing, its body's growing, nails, hair, everything's growing. It knows how to suck on the nipple, it knows how to cry when it's hungry, it knows how to cry when it's in pain. Things are happening. It comes pre-programmed, it being us, right? Comes pre-programmed, but it doesn't have a conscious mind. A conscious mind takes time to develop over the first few years. So what happens? That baby is still influenced. What's going into its subconscious mind is forming its beliefs, because our beliefs reside in our subconscious mind. So as an infant, the environment that you were raised in, the conversation from your parents, from your siblings, from the people that you surrounded, your uncles, your aunts, your grandparents, the TV in the background, the news playing, the conversations around the table, the radio, probably when you guys were born. There was no internet, same as me, right? But as an infant, so that's what influences us. I didn't come here choosing to speak English. I didn't come here choosing to speak with a South African accent. I didn't come here choosing to be a certain religion or, have certain beliefs about money, etc. Those were all formed as an infant in my family, right? So if I was raised in a Chinese family, I would have been speaking Chinese. If I was raised to learn about Buddhism or Judaism, that's the way I would have had my beliefs formed for me. And so those same things are given to us by the environment in which we're raised and later on through our life experiences. So if you're raised in a family where the talking around the table is that there's a lack of money, and in order to be rich, you've got to be conniving and thieving, and you've got to do people wrong, and having money is evil and being poor is noble, and if you want to be rich, you've got to go got to go to the best colleges, you got to do this and blah 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 blah, or you're told that you're not good enough, that you're lazy, that you'll never amount to anything, or you're so annoying, or you're so fat, or you're too ugly, you're not a sportsman, whatever that message is. Guess what's going to happen? That all goes into your subconscious mind. There is no filter there as a child. Okay, and even when your conscious mind develops, what you're hearing and saying to yourself over and over goes straight into your subconscious mind. Okay, and the subconscious mind controls the body. But guess what? In our subconscious mind, that is where our self-image is formed. This is where our beliefs form. Now remember, our beliefs govern our life experience. Our beliefs are the templates for our life. Our beliefs are the templates for our life. But our beliefs were formed from the time we were an infant and then our life experiences. This is our paradigm. This is our paradigm. Now, the meaning of a paradigm is a template or a model. Okay, so there sits our beliefs. So what environment did you grow up with? Okay, what were the beliefs and the talk around the table about money, about work and careers, and, what were your beliefs about your attitude or you as a person? Are you worthy? Are you good enough? What were your beliefs about relationships? This is the way that people should act, and this is what a love looks like. This is the way you treat a man. This is the way you treat a woman. This is where you do this. This is what you do that. This is what you should do. This is why people, follow political parties through their families, typically. This is why we, hey, I become a lawyer, even though I don't want to become a lawyer, even though it's not my passion, because my dad did and my grandfather did, right? This is why we eat similar foods, right? Because that's the way that our grandparents and our parents and the parents' ate and acted and behaved. And these are passed down to generation to generation to generation. This is not about blaming your parents or your grandparents. They were doing the best with what they had through their belief systems. Okay, so this is what everything's formed in your environment. Your model, your template, your belief system of your life was and still is formed by the environment around you. That is your paradigm, and that is what is keeping you exactly where you are. That is what's keeping you stuck. That's why you feel, you act, you think in a certain way, and that's why you get those results that you do in your life. That is your paradigm. That is why you are stuck. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Let me know in the chat. Okay? Your belief systems that are happening and controlling your life on a subconscious level, you're not even aware of some of them. You think, well, I don't have that belief about money, Kenneth, as I want to be rich. Well, if you're not, typically, is that your beliefs are holding you back about something. If you grew up in an environment where there was a lack and you weren't worthy and you were poor, um, same for me, right? As my father passed away when I was 11 years old, so we pretty much had nothing, no thing. We had no money. My mother had to deliver chickens in a chicken farm to get free housing, right? My mother had no income. That was a free job. She didn't get paid for it. What she got paid was she was allowed to stay in that housing. Okay. And so we had to deliver chickens every Tuesday, which means, guess what? Is I had to miss school every Tuesday. Okay. And so every Wednesday morning I would go into school and my teacher would say, and I'd have a sick note to say I was sick. So every Wednesday I'd go into school and my teacher would say to me, "Oh, so Mr. Todd, where were you yesterday? Saudi Arabia." And the whole class would start laughing, right? So now I'd say, "No, sir, I wasn't feeling well." Right? So what that does to somebody is, just as a child, and this is not blame or feeling, this is not my sob story, but that creates a belief. That creates a belief. I didn't know what it was like to have money. I didn't know what it was like to be wealthy or to earn a certain amount of money because I hadn't been in an environment that produced that. So it's very difficult for me. So even though I was ambitious, I was one day I'm going to be rich, one day I was going to be rich. It took me a long time to get there. All through the university, I couldn't go to the best universities. I had to put myself through a part-time college that I could afford to get my degrees. And I got my degrees and I got more degrees than my friends. But it took me a lot of time to get that confidence to go out there in the world to get that job. Why? Because my friends had better college degrees than me. They went to better institutions. They could borrow their dad's car. They could jump and they knew what a BMW felt like, or a nice car, or a nice house, right? So they didn't have to think about that. For me, that was such a big jump. So that was holding me back. So even though I had these good intentions, it took me a long time to break that down, years longer than other people, right? And it used to be so frustrating for me but I never understood how my brain was working. Even though I wanted that, but I would procrastinate. I would hold back. I wouldn't go for that job interview, or I'd freeze. I'd get nervous. I'd think I'm not good enough, right? And then I'd go, I worked in investment banking in Wall Street. I worked in London too, biggest companies in the world. I was managing $1 billion of assets, right? And still I looked around at people and I said, hey, that guy went to MIT. That guy must be better than me. That guy went to Harvard. That guy went to Yale. That guy went to this university, whatever, Stanford. I always thought these people are better than me, even though I was at a higher level than them in terms of the company. That was my paradigm. That was keeping me back, okay? And this is what happens to us every single day. So what is a paradigm? A paradigm is a collection of habits, a collection of habits. So your results in life are determined by your belief systems, guys, your belief systems. So this is how it works. Okay, so here's this little stick man again. You have certain thoughts. So because so many people have got different sort of beliefs, I'm just going to use this sort of thing as you have X thoughts. Okay, so you having X thoughts consistently about yourself, about money, about relationships, whatever, health, okay, which creates over time your belief systems in your subconscious mind. It has an X paradigm, okay? So whatever you think and the way that you feel in your subconscious mind, your emotional mind, is going to determine your body, your actions. So you're going to have X actions, which means you're going to have X results, right? X thoughts, X feelings, X actions equals X results. Pretty straightforward, right? You can't have like X thoughts and an X belief system and X actions and have an A result. Just one work, right? If you're having fearful thoughts, you're feeling anxious, you're acting anxious and worried and self-doubt and low self-esteem, low self-confidence, what do you think your results are going to be compared to somebody that's like, I'm a winner. I can do this. I can do whatever I want to do. I'm confident. I'm excited. So if they have those thoughts, their feelings are going to be uplifting. They're going to be excited. Their actions are going to be full of self-esteem, full of confidence. Guess what their results are going to be? Completely different to somebody who's filled with self-doubt, worry, fear, anxiety. Has to happen. Okay? So this is pretty much common sense. So this is you now. Okay? With whatever results you're getting in life. Okay, so there's our paradigms. So this is what keeps us stuck with the money we earn, our health, our relationships, work we do, free time, etc. Yeah, even your free time, what you do with your free time. So we're stuck in like this train track, and our results go up and down, up and down. By the way, this is why diets don't work, right? Your beliefs about your self-image, about your body and you, all in your subconscious mind. That's why diets don't work. Only when you change your beliefs and self-image about yourself will your diet work, and you'll lose weight and it'll stay off. That's why we have yo-yo dieting. This is why our income goes up and down. Okay? And so the vicious circle. You're not happy with your results and you want change, right? So you say, okay, let's go do this. You set yourself some nice big New Year's resolutions and goals, and then you fail. Okay? You don't reach them. So guess what happens? Then you start thinking, oh, you know what? I'm not good enough. Oh, man, I always fail. What happens is this is the way it's meant to be. You reinforce your belief system. You look at your results, you look at those X results, and then you have those same X thoughts. You see, I'm too ugly. You know what? I can't be loved. You know what? I'm too fat. You know what? I'm not made out for this. You know what? I'm not good at this internet thing. You know what? I'm not made to be an entrepreneur. You know what? I didn't need that BMW. My car's good enough. It gets me from A to B. Nah, everything's fine. I'm not meant to be rich. This is what happens. We start feeding. We're caught in that information loop. Okay? And we stuck. Okay? So here we are. Here we are. Now we're excited. We watched this presentation by Kenneth Todd, and we want change. Okay? And we're saying, I'm going to banish those old thoughts, those X thoughts that were limiting. And I've got this new thought that I am worthy. I am good enough. I'm going to set goals this year. I'm going to go make it. I'm going to go make it happen. I want change. Okay? But guess what? I'm still coming up against my paradigms and my old belief systems. So there in my subconscious mind, I've still got that old X belief. It's there. It's like a rock. Boom. Right there. So guess what? Even though I have new thoughts, and you've seen this happen to yourself, you have new thoughts about getting a relationship, earning more money, being more focused on your business, changing jobs, getting healthy, write that book that you always wanted to write. You have this new thought. But guess what? After the little motivation is worn off, you go back into your old habits, you fail, it slips back, your results don't change. Because you have new thoughts, but your feeling is still different, right? Your actions will still be the old way. Your results will still stay the old way. And that's when we think, this is just the way it's meant to be, or positive thinking doesn't change. And that's what we call the comfort zone or bondage. Okay, so there we are on the left-hand side, X thoughts, X feelings, etc. We have this new idea. We're still getting the same damn results, even though I'm thinking positive. Why? Okay, so here we go. Repeat that again. Because this is what happens. We have that new idea, but we still have that old model. We still have that old X model. But the more that we press through, and we do this every day, and we write out and we look at ourselves and start saying to ourselves, I am worthy, I'm deserving, I'm going to do this no matter what. Okay? And you're on a diet and then you slip and you have a piece of chocolate, but you say, you know what, I'm not going to fail. I'm going to keep going. Damn it, I'm going to do this. Damn it, I'm going to do this. When you have this consistent new why thought, which is a good thought, you start to form a new why model, but you've still got the old X model there. So what happens? That X and Y is conflict. It causes conflict. This is when you become, if you guys have ever been in this situation, where you go in a new relationship and things start to get tricky and it just becomes too overwhelming with you. You just say, no, stop. It's like you learning something new on the computer or learning something online for your business. You go out there and you start doing this and you get excited and you do a little bit and then you get all this new information. It just becomes overwhelming for you where you just want to push back and you think, oh gosh, I can't do this. Okay, because there's conflict and you actually feel it physically. It causes you anxiety. It causes you stress. The same thing, you want to be a public speaker, you go up on stage, guess what happens? This happened to me a couple of weeks ago, actually, with a bunch of kids. You friggin' end up having a thing of anxiety. Wow, where did that come from? Because there's still this inner conflict within you. Okay, that causes you this feeling of discomfort. So what do? Okay, when you're in this place, you're still getting X and Y results. You're getting mixed results. You're starting this new business. You're getting a couple of results, not really where you want to. You're trying to lose weight. You're not losing weight as much as you can. You start a new relationship. Yeah, it's up and down. It's not quite perfect. And it's just like, oh gosh, this is just too much. So what do? We hit what's called the terror barrier. Okay, and remember this, your subconscious mind controls your body, and your subconscious mind controls your body and can express itself through one channel and one channel only, your central nervous system. Okay, this is why when we go to a job interview, when we go do a public speaking event, or we try to write a book, or we go into a new relationship, or we try to challenge ourselves, it becomes frightening. It becomes uncomfortable. Why? Because there's conflict. It's going against our belief system. It's not this life that we interpreting doesn't match the model of our life. That model that we have is an old model that's keeping us stuck, but it doesn't want us to change, right? And this is very powerful. The non-conscious part of our brain is two functions, right? Efficiency and survival. It wants to keep us alive. It doesn't like change. It doesn't like change, and you are going against change. So we hit what's called the terror barrier. And when we hit that terror barrier, we got a choice. Okay? But what typically happens, we start getting filled with doubt, self-doubt. I don't know if I can do this. This is so hard. This is way beyond my comfort zone. I don't have the time. This is too much for me. We start to worry, but what happens if I fail? What happens if I go for this interview and I don't get it? What happens if I start this business and I lose money? What happens if I sign up for this marathon and I don't make it and all my friends have sponsored me, or I have to quit halfway through? Or what happens if I go on stage to speak and I can't speak? Or what happens if I write a book and nobody reads it and everybody laughs at me? Okay, we get filled with fear and anxiety because we're having those thoughts in our subconscious mind, controls our body, kicks in the anxiety. Guess what happens? We quit. We go back to that place of bondage. Okay, this is the feedback loop. This is the negative feedback loop. This is the vicious circle. We stay stuck. We become comfortable with that place of discomfort. Make sense? We become comfortable with that place of discomfort. So even though we are unhappy with the weight that we have, we will stay there. Even though we're in an abusive relationship, this is why we don't leave abusive relationships, because of our lack of self-confidence, our lack of belief within ourselves. So we say to ourselves, we start to rationalize. Okay? And say, maybe maybe it's me. If I didn't speak that way, if I didn't behave that way, she wouldn't respond to me like that. Okay? Or he wouldn't say certain things to me. Okay, we try to change and rationalize. We stay in that place of discomfort. Okay, this is why we want that new car. We want a BMW or Mercedes or whatever. Okay, and you work hard for it, but you come against your first stumbling block. In order to get that, you got to earn more money. It means you got to go get a new job or new skill. You got to try to do it. I'm too old. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough for this. It's too competitive. Oh, this is frightening. I got to travel all the way there. Bugger it. I don't really need that BMW. This car's good enough. Right? You know what? If I had that BMW, it would cost me extra money for servicing. I got to take care of it. The weather's not so great yet. I don't have a garage. We start to rationalize. Okay, this is the way we sabotage ourselves every single day. Same thing as weight. You know what? It's so hard. It's so hard. You know what? I just love food. My body's made like this. You know, it's not going to lose weight. This is just the way it is. You know what? I just made to be fat and overweight. You know, that's just the way my body is. I've tried everything. We rationalize. Okay, this is what happens. So we have a choice. We can press through the terror barrier, though. We can go through. Okay, so Abraham Maslow said, you know, when we come to this place of change, we can either step forward into growth or step back into comfort. Most of us choose to step back in terms of comfort. When we go through, when we press on, despite this conflict, to say, I'm not going to quit, I'm going to carry on going. And let me tell you something, it comes in many different forms and guises. You go there to start losing, to start getting out of debt, and you'll lose your wallet or lose your job, or something will happen. It'll come in various forms for you to try to rationalize, you know what, this is a one-off, this is a, you know, I'd only live once, I just got to put it on the card, right? You'll want to start creating something for your business, and something else will come up. Your boss will ask you to take on extra work. It's there to stop you. I'm telling you now, it's there to take you back to comfort. Okay? Whoopsie. And so that is what happens, folks. That is why we get the results that we do. Okay? So how do we change that? Okay? So we change this right here with this new idea. And basically what we got to do is we got to start creating new thoughts in order to decrease, in order to get rid of that old belief system, that ex-belief system that's holding us back. We've got to stop using it. You can't fight it. That's why your New Year's resolutions don't work. That's why your diets don't work. When you try to use your willpower alone, it doesn't work. It's futile. Right? It's just exhausting. It doesn't win. You got to create a new model. You got to create a new model, a why model, and start putting all your energy on that why model, that model about what you want from life, and put your energy on there. And where focus goes, energy flows. The more you use and focus on that new model, that new why model, that new belief system, the less you will use the old X. So eventually this little X here in the third figure here will start to shrink, and that Y will grow. Remember, a belief system is a collection of ideas, which is a collection of thoughts. So you've created this belief system over years. The good news is that it can be changed. No matter what your belief system was about money or relationships or whatever in the environment that you grow, you can change it. That's the great news. You can change it. But you might have had 10,000 thoughts about that old belief model. So you've got to repeat your new model 10,000 times. This is why people say, Kenneth, positive thinking doesn't work. You know, I wrote out these affirmations yesterday and just look at me, I'm still in trouble. Well, good luck. Good luck with that, right? You know, one of anything or two of anything doesn't work. Go try to do 2 press-ups and see if that puts you in shape. No. You know, if you want to run a marathon, you don't take 2 steps and say, okay, I'm done. Right? You've got to go run thousands and thousands and 10,000s of steps, you know, before your body's ready. The same thing is with this. This is your mind. You've got to work this mind out, right? It's like a muscle. So go create a new model. If you want change in your life, you need to have new belief systems. You need to start. So if it's money and you think that you're not worthy of earning X, you've got to start telling yourself that you are worthy, that you are deserving. You've got to start creating images in your mind of you having that money in your hand, saying over and over and over. And remember, your subconscious mind, which holds your belief system, does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. Okay? And because your subconscious mind will accept that thought that you are worthy and you are deserving and you are good enough and you are unbreakable and you are smart and you attract the right people into your life, subconscious mind controls your body. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to affect your actions. You're going to be more confident. You're going to take steps, massive action on a daily basis that moves you forward towards your goal. All right? Thoughts, feelings, actions. You got to create new empowering thoughts to give you a positive feeling. You close your eyes and you say this over and over. Write these out. I'm worthy. I'm good enough. I'm deserving of whatever it is that you want. Say it over and over. Visualize yourself holding that in your hand or achieving your goal. Visualize yourself with the end result. So you get a positive, warm feeling in your chest, in your stomach. That's a feeling. When you have that, it's going to affect your actions. When your thoughts and your feelings and your actions are aligned, by the way, those three things is called your attitude. Thoughts, feelings, actions is your attitude. They're going to what? Affect your results. So often we're told, look at your results. Go work harder. Go work harder. Go get more college degrees. Go get better marks. It's not about working harder. If it was about working harder, every single miner, construction worker, laborer, teacher, nurse would be wealthy and have the life of their dreams. It's not true. That's the biggest lie that we've ever been sold, right? It's about working on your belief systems, creating new paradigms for yourself. Okay, work on this every single day. Consistent thoughts gives you consistent feelings, going to give you consistent actions. That consistency will bring you new results over time. But you must be prepared to go through this conflict. Okay, when you're creating this new Y model, you're still going to have a little bit of this X. Some of these things you'll be able to change, or your belief system you'll be able to change really quickly. Like, hey, coffee is bad for you. Okay, I'm not drinking coffee anymore. Done, finished. Other stuff like, hey, I am worthy of being loved might take you 3 years, 5 years, but it's worth it. Okay, this is the exact same process that I use to get myself healthy, to get myself out of bankruptcy, and to get my life back to normalcy and success. Okay, for 5 years, I had Lyme disease and I was reliant on medication. What took me off medication when I couldn't get off medication? This. I'm worthy of being healthy. I am healthy. I literally walked up and down every single day. I would say affirmations over and over and over and over and over, thousands of times. And, you know, every night is, I would go outside and walk up and down my pathway outside my house from, I don't know, from 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'd go walk for an hour, just up and down that front pathway. And I'd use that. I'd take the dogs out every single night to go have do their business. And whether it was summer, fall, spring, or winter, in the middle of winter in Connecticut, I'd have my jacket, I'd have blankets wrapped around me, gloves, hoodie, scarf, everything, just walking up and down in the snow. My neighbors probably thought I was absolutely bonkers, but I had to repeat those thoughts, that I was worthy, that I was healthy, that I could see myself healthy, and actually raise the vibration in my body till it was actually buzzing. I would go to sleep, you know, absolutely buzzing over and over and over. Is what took me off that medication. I never had to rely on it again. And also took me from bankruptcy and losing my house and everything to creating two successful businesses. Okay, so I know if I can do it, you can do it. And these are lessons that I learned from Bob Proctor, having studied under Bob Proctor for a year. Same thing that people like Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, if you haven't heard of him, Napoleon Hill was like Think and Grow Rich, people like Wallace Wattles. So real original self-help people. These are strategies that have been used for decades and decades and decades and have helped millions of people change their beliefs and change their life. Okay, so that is how you do it. So before I get going here, I want to ask you, do you have any questions at all? Any questions? Did everything make sense to you? You can let me know here in the chat box. Okay. Because that is it for today, folks. I want to say thank you so much for joining me on today's webinar and workshop, and let me know your thoughts, your feedback. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and feedback about this, and what you're hoping to change in your results in your life, and if you need some help in terms of, you know, how to go about doing that and what you should be focusing on, just send me a message on Facebook and I'll do my best to help you and respond to you. So thanks so much, you guys. And this is actually the last one. No, I got one more this year. I do these every 2 weeks. So make sure you follow me, the email and online for the next webinar. And I'll see you on that one in 2 weeks' time. So I appreciate all you guys, and have an awesome day. Take care.